Hello and welcome. I'm Saeed from StoryPlanet.net. Dive right into the essence of the most captivating books without reading them cover to cover. Whether you're on the go, at the gym, or just relaxing at home, we offer you a unique and enriching listening experience. Today, we are exploring the book, The Doomsday Machine, a creation by Daniel Ellsberg. The 2017 documentary, The Doomsday Machine, traces whistleblower Daniel Ellsberg's path from studying nuclear weapons in school to influencing America's national security policy. It delves into the historical use of nuclear systems and the perilously close calls we've had with human extinction. Before we delve into these revelations, it's interesting to note that Daniel Ellsberg, an activist and former U.S. military advisor, disclosed the Pentagon Papers in 1971, revealing classified information about U.S. activities in the Vietnam War. He authored Secrets, a Memoir of Vietnam and the Pentagon Papers. With 8 key ideas to unveil, brace yourself for a deep dive into this captivating book on StoryPlanet.net. To start, the text invites the reader to discover the truth about nuclear bombing. The text discusses the vulnerability of the world to potential annihilation through nuclear weapons, highlighting misconceptions surrounding who can launch a nuclear attack. It sheds light on the complexity and risks associated with the U.S. nuclear system and military processes, emphasizing the potential global impact of these weapons. Key points include near misses in global catastrophe, the concept of deterrence strategy, and political support for nuclear warfare in the U.S. Key idea number 1. In the 1930s, the first city bombings and mass murders of civilians occurred. The rapid advancement of aircraft technology in the 1930s led to the rise of strategic bombing, where civilians were targeted to weaken the enemy's economy and society. Examples include the bombing of Guernica and the Blitz during WTI. The United States conducted devastating bombing raids on Tokyo in 1945, resulting in around 100,000 civilian deaths. Key idea number 2. The author experienced Point and the start of the Cold War during their school years. Daniel Ellsberg was impacted by witnessing civilian casualties during the Nazi bombings of London as a child and later concluded that nuclear bombs were dangerous. Scientists involved in the Manhattan Project, including Ellsberg, were driven to develop the atomic bomb to deter Nazi Germany from obtaining it first. However, the bomb was eventually used on Japan in 1945 and led to a nuclear arms race with the USSR. Ellsberg advocated for preventing other powers from acquiring nuclear weapons due to Cold War fears. This set the stage for his involvement in the theory of nuclear deterrence, which we will explore further. Key idea number 3. The author began working at the Rand Corporation during a turbulent period. In 1957, Ellsberg started working at Rand and learned about deterrence strategy to prevent nuclear wars with the USSR by being prepared for one. This strategy aimed to prevent attacks through the threat of mutual destruction. Despite believing in this concept, Ellsberg realized its limitations after a period of heightened tension during the US-Soviet arms race when the USSR demonstrated the capability to launch intercontinental ballistic missiles. Key idea number 4. Author found problems in U.S. nuclear strategy. Ellsberg discovered issues with the U.S. nuclear command structure. Focus on launching quickly led to ease of unauthorized launches and lack of president's approval. The two-man system for launch codes was risky and lacking a stop command to counteract a go signal, raising concerns about potential doomsday scenarios. Key idea number 5. Ellsberg aimed to improve the authorization process for nuclear warfare after discovering how simple it was. Ellsberg discovered vulnerabilities in the U.S. nuclear command structure, with lower-ranking officers having the power to launch nuclear attacks in case of communication breakdowns. He alerted the president and recommended changes, including a no-cities plan, protecting reserve forces, and creating a stop command to terminate an attack. Kennedy's administration approved these suggestions in 1961, influencing U.S. nuclear war strategies. Key idea number 6. The price of launching a first attack is extremely severe. Ellsberg suggested improvements to national strategy, but the risk of nuclear war remained high in 1961. He learned that a first strike scenario could lead to 1 billion deaths, not considering nuclear winter effects. In this scenario, doomsday machines created by the US and USSR could potentially end humanity. Key idea number 7, the Cuban Missile Crisis. In October 1962 was very close to escalating into a catastrophic situation. The Cuban Missile Crisis was a pivotal event during the Cold War, triggered by the discovery of nuclear weapons in Cuba by the US. Tensions escalated, leading to a dangerous standoff between the US and USSR. Fortunately, President Kennedy and Soviet leader Khrushchev reached an agreement, avoiding a nuclear war. A Soviet submarine officer, Vasily Arkhipov, played a crucial role in preventing a potential nuclear attack. Despite the crisis being averted, the threat of a catastrophic scenario remains relevant in today's world. Key idea number 8. Public awareness can pressure nuclear-armed countries to dismantle their dangerous weapons. Despite the decreased likelihood of a nuclear winter post-Cold War, the risk still exists, necessitating the dismantling of Russia doomsday systems to avert catastrophe. Raising public awareness, pushing for legislative action, and fostering systemic change are crucial steps despite political challenges. History shows that seemingly impossible tasks, like dissolution of the USSR or ending apartheid, can be achieved with persistent efforts and collective action, emphasizing the potential of people to effect positive change. In conclusion, key points. Daniel Ellsberg, a former US nuclear systems analyst turned whistleblower, exposed flaws in the nuclear deterrence strategy, highlighting the risk of unauthorized nuclear attacks. His revelations emphasize the urgent need for increased public awareness and anti-nuclear activism to eliminate the threat of these doomsday machines. Joining the anti-nuclear movement and advocating for change through education and intelligence is crucial for preventing the catastrophic consequences of nuclear warfare. Further reading is recommended in Command and Control by Eric Schlosser, which uncovers the risky history of the US nuclear weapons program. Thank you for listening to this summary. If you enjoyed this exploration, we invite you to discover other fascinating books on storyplanet.net. Don't wait any longer. A multitude of books, stories, and knowledge await you there. See you soon on storyplanet.net.